It's Facebook stuff. All right. I Bleed Orange Sports Network. Welcome to our weekly Tuesday 7:30 podcast of I Bleed Orange, sponsored by Kuk Soon Wan, a martial arts studio next to pizza place over there, Columbus Pizza. We did a show over there for the Notre Dame game last year. But anyways, I was in there about 2 weeks ago, and they signed up, and it's a really neat place. It's in Clemson and right on Pendleton Boulevard, or whatever you call it, Pendleton Street. And anyways, they're doing a little summer camps. They got a lot of stuff going on there. We're going to do a live shout-out commercial there probably this week. And so we're about 52 days out. And I was talking to Rob just a while ago. It's that time of year I just want to kind of fast forward because everybody's just kind of sitting around waiting. There's not a lot of stuff going on right now. No baseball, nothing really to speak of. So we'll talk about football. We'll talk a little bit about some sponsors. We'll talk about the upcoming Orange and White weekend. We're going to be playing in a golf tournament, and I'm actually going to be on the dunk machine. And so just a couple sponsors came on board. Mama Donna's Thrift Store, that is on Mechanic Drive going into Pendleton. Kuk Soon Wan of Clemson came on board. And then, of course, about 3 weeks ago, Tap In Putts and Brews came on board. And they're going to be doing a game. They're not officially open, but he went ahead and signed up, and as soon as we get the okay, we'll name a game. We're still looking for somebody for the Appalachia game. I'm assuming it's going to fill up pretty fast. It's the first home game. It's a night game, so we got room for 2 or 3 shows for that. So we got Rowdy Tiger on, Rob Clark, and couldn't get a sponsor on, couldn't get a guest on tonight. I had somebody that had something come up at the last moment, so it's just me and him talk a little bit about. I guess we'll just start talking about football.
Yeah. Obviously, big news in the recruiting. We got that quarterback that committed from Arizona. Right now he's a junior rated 3 stars. I think he might be predicted to rise into the 4-star realm after his senior year. But not often do we get a player to commit from Arizona.
No, we've had him from California though.
Yeah.
We got DJ coming up Florida State. It seems like he's been playing forever.
I'm kind of ready for that game because I'm
ready for any game.
I'm sure DJ is gonna want a little revenge in a sense, with all the fans that ridicule him and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure he's gonna want to come in and show out and whatnot. But I just don't know with everybody that Florida State lost right there at their bowl game with all the opt-outs and all the transfers. Does Florida State still have that top-tier team that went 13-0 and conference championship?
Well, you got to watch it. It's going to be in Tallahassee. That's not an easy place to play. So,
yeah.
So, we should have beat them last year. That was a tricky game. So, both teams are going to want to win that. I don't know. I think Clemson may upset Georgia. I think
he definitely will. I absolutely 100% think that we will beat Georgia.
Why not?
It's going to be a tight, close game, but I think defense is going to come in. I think defense is going to do just enough to keep them within reach. And I think Cade Klubnik's going to have his year. I think it's going to be his year.
And Moffa's going to have his year. Moffa, as long as he stays healthy, I think he could get 1,500 yards.
Cade's got some, great running backs. He's got some good wide receivers this year. We've got a deep ball threat wide receiver. You can't deny the fact that, Dabo in the offseason decided to, not really the offseason, right at the end of the season of last year, he fired the offensive line coach, hired a former Georgia line coach, and honestly, he showed up on campus, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Before the bowl game? Mm-hmm. And look at how much difference the offensive line was in that bowl game.
Exactly.
Cade had time to throw the ball and created running lanes for Shipley and Moffa.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a big difference in the offense this year.
I think so. And we got the new offensive line coach, few new offensive linemen, and that's where the game's won, whether you realize it or not. I think that's going to make a big difference. it ain't gonna be no runaway. It could, I don't think it's gonna be a high scoring game either.
Yeah,
but I just think as long as Clemson stays away from mistakes, fumbles, interceptions, I think we can win.
I think
somewhere around 20-17 or something, 21-17. I don't think it's gonna be high scoring.
Yeah, I think we can go with. I don't know if it's going to be like a couple years ago when we played in Charlotte. I don't think it's going to be a 10-3 game.
Yeah, I hope not.
Because I mean,
if we win, I'll take it. Still, I want more than 10-3.
It was 3-3 almost the entire game until that one pick six, where they scored the 7 point. That was really the only touchdown scored the entire game.
Yeah, we should have won that game. We're due to beat them. We haven't beat them in a while. I'm trying to think how far that goes back, but I know they've won the last several meetings. I know they won in, I think it was 14, right before Sean came on. Or was that 13? Somewhere around 13, 14. I'm trying to think of that guy's name, that running back, man. He had a crazy he went to the NFL, I forget his name, but he almost had 280 yards or something crazy. So, yeah, 52 days, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. I did see an interesting article today, and I thought this was kind of cool. Now, I'm trying to look at the article again because I want to make sure I had it right. But it was saying the 10 most important Tigers in 24. So the 10 top Tigers that's going to be the key players in the 24 season, and it's basically featuring Phil Maffa. They got him rated at the number 4th Tiger of the top 10, but I can't, for whatever reason, it's not showing me who 1, 2, and 3 are. But interesting, the 10 through 5. Let me pull that right back up. So number 10, they think the center, Ryan Linthicum, will be one of the best guys on the offensive line. And then number 9, they've rated Sammy Brown at linebacker. And then they got the number 8 top Tiger is freshman wide receivers TJ Moore and Brian Wesco. Bryant Wesco. And that Wesco, I'm excited to see that guy.
He's a beast though.
And then number 7, they got cornerback Avion Terrell. I think, if I'm not mistaken, is that the one that had that, like, just caught the ball straight up in the air?
Yeah, spring game.
The spring game.
Don't forget Spearman,
Yeah.
I'd like to see some play out of him,
Yeah.
In the situation.
And then they said the number 6 top 10 Tiger would be wide receiver Antonio Williams, which, yes, we need a big year out of Antonio Williams. He came hot on the scene his freshman year. Then he battled some injuries. But yeah, and Antonio Williams, I am excited to see him fully healthy and really, carry the ball. Yeah. And then the number 5 guy is defensive tackle DeMonte Capehart. So that's the top 10, which I can't, like I said, I don't know why it's not showing me the 3, 4, or the 3, 2, and 1, but they got Phil Maffa at the number 4th Tiger out of the top 10 Tigers to look for the 24, like being those are the key players for the 24 season.
Yeah. I mean, they got him on the blacklist for the Heisman, so who knows?
Yeah. But, Sammy Brown, I mean, come on.
Sammy Brown,
who's excited to watch
him? When they signed him, that dude's going to be a name that we'll talk about 10, 20 years down the road. He's definitely
like I said, who's excited to watch that guy play? I am.
I remember exactly where I was. I was at a gas station getting out to get gas. It came up on my phone. It's kind of one of the things I just remember when he said he was committing to Clemson. And he's an all-around beast, man. He reminds me of Brian Bosworth, but not as crazy as him, but athletically. The guy he's fast. He's all muscle. The dude can move. So, yeah, excited about that. I think, defense, Clemson's known for their defense. The offense can just block, give Cade some time, open up some holes, make some plays. I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited. I can't wait. But this 25 class. I mean, top 5 right now. So we've got some big names in there. Some offensive line. We got a 3-star offensive lineman in there from New Rochelle, New York. So, but yeah, top 5 class right now, sitting in the 25.
Good deal. Good deal.
So
I think we were what,
it's been
9?
a while since we've had a top 5 class.
We were what, 7 or 9? We're ranked 9th preseason, I think, and then 7, I think.
Has the preseason ranks come out? I haven't seen the preseason rank.
Preseason, I think. Yeah, because I saw it somewhere. They had Georgia 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their preseason. They'll come out right before the season and have the official ones. But yeah, we're in there. But I did see Georgia 1. I think they had, of course, they had Ohio State somewhere in the top 4.
That running back that I was telling you about, that's going to be the next big thing to come to Clemson, and he's a 4-star rated running back out of Lynchburg, Virginia. Davidson Gideon. That's the guy I believe is going to come in and replace Phil Maffa.
Yeah, Maffa's a senior, right?
Yeah,
gotta be. That's what I was thinking.
We do have a 4-star quarterback though for the 25 class out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Blake Herbert. So, who knows how he's going to come in and transition to the college level. We didn't get to see him yet, but obviously in 2025, we'll see him in the spring game, kind of get our first look at him. And that's the question. Who will be the starting quarterback in 2025?
True. Spearman, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we only saw him for a little bit. He's a hometown guy. Played over at McDaniels. He looked good.
Yeah.
You need to see a little bit more of him. I like to see him play. We get like a Citadel game or we get way ahead and they put the second string in there. I like to see him get some play time.
Yeah.
But
I'm
we
excited about the one offensive line we got out of Georgia, though. He's a 4-star rated offensive line, 6'7", 310 pounds out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Braden Jacobs.
Okay.
It's kind of nice to pull an offensive line out of the heart of Georgia. So,
yeah, they're growing big down there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I kind of like that. But that he's rated 4-star. So, I think this new coach we got to come in and take over the offensive line. I'm excited. For him.
Man, I don't know anybody more excited than I am because I've been talking about that for a couple of years.
I've said it for ever since DJ had struggled in the first couple of years. That game against Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, everybody. And I know you're not a Cowboys fan, but Dallas really there for a while had no really. I mean, you got no really powerhouse on offense, but they had the best offensive line there for years, and they kept making it to the the playoffs. And the game's won at the line. It really is. Yeah. And the offensive line makes a big difference. Nobody just really sees it. They see the quarterback getting sacked, but they don't see the missed blocks. And I'm glad we straightened that part out.
In that Georgia game, DJ
was all over the place
7 times.
He was all over the place. He was running for his life.
Yeah, 7 times. And then everybody wanted to know why DJ was not having a great year because he had like less than a normal quarterback time before he was having somebody in his face.
Yeah. And he needed time. He wasn't like Deshaun where he could scramble or Trevor, but got that straightened out. I'm just excited to see it. Excited to start tailgating. We got Tailgating Pros, TTP. That's who I was trying to get on tonight. They both had something come up, but I think I told you about them. They started a tailgating business.
Yeah.
And they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Great concept. Great idea.
Yeah. You can go on our page or you can go on their site and look at it. You go ahead and prepay it.
That's a great.
You ain't got to worry about nothing.
Idea. You can't do anything better than that. That was I mean,
you don't have to worry about stopping by Bojangles. You don't have to worry about doing anything the night before. You just show up.
Like
Tell them what you want.
Genius idea. But I mean, I'm excited. Cannot wait for the kickoff to come. It just can't come any sooner. I think we're gonna have a lot better year this year.
Don't forget to
So.
take out your
Oh, yeah.
trash cans.
But yeah, I cannot wait. I think this is it, man. Especially with the expanded 12-team deal. That you can't.
Yeah,
If
that's gonna make
Clemson wins, we're in. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Go win the conference championship. Now it's funny the stipulation that with Notre Dame, if Notre Dame finishes number 1 in the nation at the final 12, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, 12-team, whatever, they automatically go from 1 to 5
because they're in their own
because
conference.
they're not in a conference. Now that's the stipulated rules that the
Yeah.
top 4 teams will be conference champions.
I didn't know that. Well, they didn't do that during the because they made it to the playoffs because we beat them.
Well, yeah, they've made it to the playoffs
2020,
before,
2021.
but it's just because they're not in a conference, and according to the committee rules, that the first 4 teams will be conference champions. Meaning, if Notre Dame finishes at number 1, they automatically drop from 1 to 5 and will be the 5th seed in the 12-team playoff.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Because even if we lose to Georgia and we win the SEC championship, we're in.
Right. But again, that's what the rules state at this current time. But would the committee keep out a undefeated number 1 ranked Notre Dame
I don't think
out of the top 4?
I don't think they can.
I don't know if they would do that. Although they did leave out a 13-0 conference champion Florida State.
Yeah. And then I'm sure they're going to remember that. It's going to make it interesting in the season. I mean,
the committee can do whatever they want to do. They put these rules in place, but then change the rules when it so fits.
Yeah. So, and it's going to give us more football. And if you're in that top 6, you're not sweating so much. I remember a couple times I'm just sitting there like looking at the screen, like Clemson.
Well, now, last year, if you were sitting top 6, you were like, are we going to get in or not? But now, if you're sitting top 6, you're in. You're in.
Yeah.
You just got to go play the gauntlet and get to the championship game.
Yeah.
A true playoff.
Yeah.
They got to stop putting a committee together and deciding, that a committee decides who gets in and who doesn't get in.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I agree. And it's going to make December and January more interesting.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm excited. I mean, to see
the first 6 are going to bye. I mean, they don't play, and then the other 6 play, and then they play the ones with the bye. Isn't that how they're doing it? Is it 6 and then 6?
The first 4 will get a bye.
First 4. Okay.
Yeah, my understanding, the first 4 gets a bye. Conference champion, first 4 get a bye, and then the next couple teams, maybe the first 6 get the bye. The bottom 6 play. And then winners of that will play the top 6. That could be the way it is. I haven't seen a bracket of sorts yet, so I don't know how it's going to really play out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know the first. Yeah, you're right about the first 4. They get a bye. So
we'll have to see about that. But yeah, I know for fact at least the first 4 get a bye. So
yeah, that makes
sense.
And
they did extend it, so it goes beyond. It goes way deep into the January now.
Good, because January.
So originally they had to. That's why you had all the New Year's 6 games, and then you had the championship game like maybe a week or so out, because they were supposed. They have to end the season by a certain time for academic purposes.
Okay.
Or it was something about academic purposes and the transfer portal that they, players had to decide if they were going to go to the NFL or transfer.
Yeah,
that's where the push came why they could never really go to a true playoff system.
And the cool thing is, if you go back to like 17 or 18, when USC went undefeated for 2 seasons, it gives somebody like that should have been. I mean, what more could they have done? They went undefeated. They won like 26 games in a row, didn't lose a game, and they never went to the playoffs. So in this scenario, you got a team like that in a conference that's not strong and not a big conference like the SEC or the ACC, and they got a chance to get in. So that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and you got Florida State. I mean, they would get in. They would have got in this year, so that makes it cool.
Oh, they definitely would have got in then.
Well,
but
if you're number 13, I guess you just didn't deserve to get in. I mean, you got 12 spots. That makes it a little bit more interesting. I mean,
I've said it for years that what is there, like, I don't know, 12 conferences, I think, something like that.
Come a long way. You remember,
if you win your conference championship, no matter the conference, be it MAC or what's the Sun Belt or whatever conference, all the conferences in D1, if you win your conference championship, you should be placed in a playoff. And I think that's like 10, 11, 12 conferences, I believe. Well, now that the Pac-12 is gone, that kind of makes it an odd number. So then then you can go, okay, well, let's bring in a team that should be going, like a team that didn't win their conference championship but is good enough to play in the playoff.
Yeah,
like a wild card kind of team.
Right.
So, but I feel like if you win your conference championship, you should be in, because it was back in 2017, I believe it was, when UCF or USF, whichever it was, that Florida team.
UCF, that's what I was just talking about.
Yeah. When that Florida team went undefeated, conference champion, and they got snuffed out of the bowl or the Final Four.
They went undefeated for 2 years.
Alabama snuck in, who did not play in their conference championship. They did not play in the conference championship that year. Yeah. And we ended up having to play them in the first round of the playoff. And we ended up losing to them. And Alabama went on to win the national championship that year. And UCF has still to this day claims that they won the national championship because they beat Auburn in their bowl game. Auburn beat Alabama that year. That's why they didn't get to go to the conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that makes it fair.
UCF got snuffed out, and they were conference champions and undefeated.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's not like the basketball where you got 64. You couldn't do that with football, but it does. It opens the door and gets some.
Yeah.
Some.
But a lot of people.
Cinderella teams a chance.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, "Well, do you want to watch UCF play Alabama in the Final Four?" Sure. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Doesn't necessarily mean that Alabama's going to demolish them.
But your team,
they beat Auburn. They beat Auburn in the bowl game. Who
I don't have a dog in Alabama. I'm normally pulling for the Cinderella team.
I just feel like it's not fair to these smaller schools that don't get a chance to get in because of the conference they play in.
Yeah.
And it's like now everybody's trying to snuff the AC out, the ACC out.
Yeah, it might get a Coastal
trying to make it just a SEC Big Ten playoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like. It's kind of getting ridiculous, it's getting too political, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
anyhow,
I don't know, but I'm excited. I can't wait. It's like I'm kind of got this itch. I need to scratch, and I can't scratch it.
It's good, man. When you got down to 50-something days, it's close. I mean, a little over a month and some change. We're there. This year's just flown by, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's been
looking forward to the golf tournament.
A year that's gone by pretty fast. So
not about faster than any year I remember. So
it always seems fast when you got things going, and with the I Bleed Orange page growing as fast as it's growing, the things that's coming along with that, with the sponsorships and.
Oh yeah, I got a girl I hired, and she's calling, and she's first day she set their appointment, so. That's all I needed, somebody to help out in the marketing. And got a new IT guy that's on board, and Beth's back, and everything's good.
Good. So, I love it. I'm excited. this little podcast thing we got going. I mean, it may not be hitting mainstream yet, but it's going to get there. It's going to
get there. Especially football hits, everything's going to change.
Oh,
It's the engine that runs the machine. I always tell everybody.
Yep.
We cover all the sports, but football here in the South is an engine that runs the machine that runs the engine, whatever.
I agree. But, you know,
all right.
There's nothing big going on in news right now.
We'll try to get somebody on next week.
I guess that's a good thing. No, what is it? No news is good news.
News, yeah, nothing major.
So, you know, I know Dabo's hot on the recruiting trail, and you know, they're getting
we get into
on board, and I love it.
In mid-August, we'll be any guests be begging to get on here. It's just hard to get anybody right now. A lot of people on vacation. Everything's slowed down. Thanks. You know, it's so slow today. I jumped in the pool in the middle of the day with nothing else to do.
I'm excited to see what Garrett Riley's going to do with the offense this year. You know, I know a lot of fans have not been happy lately, but I also feel like, his offense has been a little vanilla, but just mainly for the simple fact that he's not had the players that he's needed to really open up that playbook. You know, we've not had any deep ball threat wide receivers until of late. I think this Wesco kid, with the speed that he has and the separation that he could probably get, I feel like we're going to see some deep balls thrown.
Yeah.
If Cade, and you know, the key is does Cade get the time to throw? And that was one of the problems where everybody was like, "Oh, we don't throw the ball deep. We don't throw the ball deep. We don't throw the ball deep." Well, you can't throw it deep if you don't have enough time for the guys to get deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't have the time and be able to make the read to throw it deep, you can't throw it deep.
Yeah. And I think
a lot of fans don't see that, you know. In the last 2 seasons, we've not had the one receiver to get separation to go down the field. And then the quarterback has not had the time to allow that play to develop before he's having to throw it short or run for his life.
Yeah. I mean, offensive line makes all the difference in the world. It's a game changer.
Yeah. So I feel like defense held us, kept us in a lot of the games, and the offense was trying to get there. But I think this year is going to be an upturn of a year. I think we're definitely going to be there. I think we're definitely going to get into the top 12. Even if we're the 12th team in the top 12, I think we're going to get there. We're going to be in the playoffs.
I think we're going to be in there. I agree with you. It's time.
I definitely wholeheartedly believe we're going to be there. So,
all right. Well,
I'm excited for the orange and white weekend coming up. And if you guys have not heard, definitely get on there. You have the tailgate Friday, which my understanding is free to everybody to come out.
Yeah. Come out. I'm going to be on the dunk machine.
There's guests.
It's for a good call.
Tank where, you know, JJ Starnes is going to get dunked. So come out and dunk him. Then you got the Gallo on Saturday, and you got the golf event on Sunday.
Yep, and all the fun
big weekend. Kind of kicks off that football season, which
we're right there then.
Yeah, it'll be great. So,
all right, I'm excited. We'll get some people on next week. All right, that's it, I guess.
All right, love it. You want to give a quick shout out to any sponsors real quick before we sign off?
Well, also anybody watching this, any businesses, we have an opening for the Florida State game. And we also have the access to be able to use Bixby's as a place during a home game where we're on College Avenue, close to the stadium. So that's going to help out. And just Putt Place, Donna's Thrift Store, the Cooch Sun One, and the Martial Arts. It's a neat place. Those are the 3 newest sponsors. We got Carpet One, I think, is coming on board this week. I'm supposed to meet with them. I talked with them last week. And Puppy Patch, they came on board a couple weeks ago. Got a couple people sitting on the fence, and I got a new lady doing some calls and marketing, so we should put a lot of people on real quick here for football season.
Anybody wanting to get their tailgating on, definitely look up the tailgating guys. So
yeah, I'm probably going to use them. And we may have them on next. They want to get on. They just couldn't. Their schedules didn't meet up tonight.
Yeah, no worries. I can't wait. Like I said, what their concept is genius. Absolutely genius.
We actually thought about that years ago. We just never acted on it. And then now I was talking to them. I said, God, y'all beat us to it. But
Yeah.
great concept. Two young
All right.
entrepreneurs graduated from Clemson. All right. Sounds good.
Good night. Let's go Tigers.
Go Tigers. See you next.